Canada's senior men's team held an intra-squad match to cap a week of training at Shawnigan Lake School. The red team downed the blue team 3 tries to 1, but it was about execution and combinations on the day in preparation for next week's Churchill Cup tournament.
Yeah, it was good to see some of the combinations that we'll be using in Denver out there, getting a bit of a head start, and then we saw some of the young guys really raise their game and put some of the stuff they've been working on during the week into play, so that was good. And
it's a pretty vital game, having no other game action going in against a team like Uruguay.
Yeah, definitely. Uruguay's coming off, I think, their 5th game in the last 5 or 6 weeks, and a lot of our guys coming back from Europe haven't played in the last 3 or 4 weeks, and some of our domestic players haven't played in as much as 4 weeks. So it was important that we get a bit of a realistic run out, and I think we accomplished that today. I think mostly it's just bumps and bruises, so it was job done.
Is that a little nerve-wracking as coaches as you're about to take off, and there's a couple guys go down, you held your breath?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's always tough, even as a player as well. It's tough on them mentally to to put in that aggression and big hits, because they've got their eye towards next week, obviously. But I think the players did a real good job. It was a physical game. Even though the squad was picked, the guys were out there playing like they were playing for spots on the tour.
Did you like these inter-squad games when you were a player?
Not really. To be honest, I didn't really like these inter-squad games as a player. Because, as I said, you have an eye on the competition, but you understand as a player why they're there, and it's vital for the coaches to see players in head-to-head competition.
All right. Well, good luck in Denver.
Thanks, Doug.
DTH, it can't be easy doing these kind of games when you have dinner with these guys every night and they're your pals, and then you got to go for it. How did you make it through this one?
Yeah, definitely. These games are never good games to play in. It's hard to play against your friends, and it's hard to keep the aggression up and trying to hit them as hard as they're going to hit you, sort of thing. But ended up made it through the game.
Is there a moment early in the game when you get the first big tackle made on you, or you make the first big tackle and everything sort of switches on?
Yeah, definitely went into the first couple of tackles too soft and got hit and failed every single tackle. And but then obviously adrenaline starts pumping a little bit, and then you go from there, and hopefully it just works out better.
Based on what you were trying to work on in training all week, do you think you hit some of the targets you were looking for?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of our big points in the game was to go past the point of contact, and I think the forwards did really well in that. We try to play more of like an offloading game a little bit, but it was a little sloppy, like all games would be, as we don't really play with each other week in and week out. So, but I think everything went good. Everything was good this week, and I think the defense was pretty good too.
Just being together too is good. Just the bonding and everything else that you need to do to become a team.
Yeah, it's great to be back on tour, and this obviously is the first time we've done this year at Shawnigan Lake with such a big group of guys, and all the new guys definitely walked into camp and not knowing a lot of the players, but all have bright futures ahead of them, and we can just keep building from here.
Yeah, full credit to a lot of those guys that came into camp. They're holding bags, they're tackling, they're playing for a future spot. But this squad was more or less selected, so good to have those guys around them.
Yeah, definitely. Every guy knew that it's just one injury away for them to get in, and that's why it's always such a hard game. Everyone wants to prove their point and just play their best game, and maybe that always doesn't make the game that pretty of a game, because guys are trying for themselves to get back into or get into the squad and play for next Saturday to have a test jersey on their back. But I give credit to all the young guys. They really got all the calls in during the week, and it went well.
All right, thanks a lot. Yeah. So Andrew, never an easy thing playing with guys that you live in the same house with, but it's a job that has to get done. How did you think it went this afternoon?
I think well, we'll have to wait for the analysis from the computer and the coaches, but I think it was a pretty valuable game. We've been practicing all week, working, particularly emphasising defence. A couple of systems there, trying to put into practice. As you say, we've been training together all week and only knew the teams yesterday, so we were trying to throw each other off with a couple of new moves and things. But again, it was. I thought it was a good exercise, and it's good for the players to get 80 minutes or whatever it was in the legs.
Yeah, it is a vital point, having no game action before facing a team like Uruguay, and those guys can be pretty nuggety.
they're going to be a hell of a tough team. Very physical. Haven't actually watched any footage yet, but I know historically they bring it and they're going to come out hard. So we've got to be prepared.
Does a game like this change relationships in the locker room? You know, when you're squaring guys up and going for it.
I don't think so. Only if you haven't got a sense of humour. I think no. I think it's fine. There's a few scraps, but that's always happens when you're playing against your mates. I think.
It's old-time hockey, as they say.
Yeah. Apparently.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks, Tom.